Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Conversations with Michelle and Stacy. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Guys, we know it's been forever since we've been here, and we have to extend our sincere apologies. But we have very legitimate reasons as to why it's been as long as it's been. We've had a
Yeah,
lot going on, right, Michelle?
a lot. Definitely a lot.
Yeah. So
But we
say
miss you guys.
yes.
Thank you for everyone who have reached out to ask, are we okay? Is everything is okay? And who has encouraged us to like come back and miss our videos. Thank you. Definitely a breath of fresh air hearing that.
I know. I did get a couple calls like, did you guys like stop being friends? Are you guys going different directions? Did you get divorced? What's going on? Where have you been? Are you guys, coming back to do this? And like you just said, it's been really heartwarming to those of you who have reached out and asked about what's going on and making sure that we don't give up on this platform. That's been very encouraging.
Definitely.
But like Michelle said, and I've said too, we've had so much going on. So we're just gonna share a little bit about that with you so that you know what's happening with us, if that's gonna help and to bring you back after so that we can go on and continue having some great conversations.
Yes. Do you want to start sharing or should I?
Yeah, I just spoke a whole mouthful there, tired of hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay, there's been a lot, like Stacey said. We don't keep
Mhm.
on saying it's a lot, but it has
That's a
been
lot.
truly,
That's a lot.
honestly. We did say on this platform when we started, we're gonna be transparent and honest on everything as much as we can, and this is part of our transparency. I had a death in my family. My dad, he passed away in July 4th to be exact. There are things that happened with my daughter, her physical being her eye, and I thought something like she had to have an operation. Thank God she didn't have to have an operation. My personal life has got a hit also. So it's just like a plethora of things just keep on going and going and going. And it's just like, God, knock, knock. Are you there?
Like, yeah, God.
Are you there, God? Because I'm like, you must really think I'm strong to give me all these things I'm going through and then some. And it's just like, I don't know about you guys or you, Stacey. Sometimes you feel like when you in a storm, you feel like, okay, I just got this one, so I'll get a break. And when you think you just stepped off the boat and you're gonna get some a breath of fresh air, and go yawn and be all good, then you get hit with another storm. And be like, wait, I just stand on this on a solid rock. Like, wait, don't have my foot like waver. I'm not ready yet. And that's what has been happening. My father's death, it was unexpected. I know death is unexpected, like we all know. But in the morning of when he passed away, I spoke to him and he was fine. We were laughing. My daughter was singing to him and playing the piano to him. And she even asked him, "Hey, Grandpa, what's your favorite color?" And we talking. So when my sister called me and she was crying and she said, "Daddy passed away," I'm like, no, no, can't be. Because he sounded great the morning of. So with
Yeah.
that, it's just like, and then my daughter had something in her eye, and it just like my heart. Being a parent, everyone knows if you're a parent, if you're not a parent, when something happens to your child, like your thought process is like, no, I don't want it to happen to my child. Like you want to take that pain away, and just like my heart was just broken all throughout. My dad, my daughter's eye, and my personal life. It just like it took a hit. So with it taking a hit, unfortunately, our page took a hit because I couldn't deal with coming and faking the funk because we said we're gonna be honest and transparent, and I just couldn't deal with that. Do you want to share, Stacey, your
Yeah.
end?
Um, yeah, girl. It was a marathon of things with me as well. So yeah. We were going through it. Um, and I want to thank you actually because I relied on you for so much prayer, because I literally okay. So I had my left leg was very bothersome for a couple of days, and nothing seemed to alleviate the pain. Rubbing hot water, stretching. at that point, I'd been going to the gym for quite some time, doing yoga, and Michelle and I were doing our competitions and everything. So um, I'm like, this pain does not feel like a regular muscle sprain or strain or spasm. It just felt different because the pain radiated from like my side, like my waist down to my leg, but it wasn't a pain that I could really touch. It was just the entire leg. And I'm like, what is going on? So I did what I could. And a couple of days later, 4 or 5 days later, I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me not be Dr. Stacy. I like to be Dr. Stacy. You know, Dr. Google helped me, and I conferred also with Dr. MD. And all of my co-doctors kept telling me that, you know what, go ahead and have it checked out, because what they were saying to me, I'm like, okay, Google and web, and yeah, just stop talking. Got to urgent care and saw this doctor, and he said it was sciatica, and I'm like, okay, I'm not familiar, but I've heard of it. But he prescribed me with several two um muscle relaxers, and also he gave me another painkiller, some strong stuff. So I took it for a couple of days, and like by the third day, like I could not breathe. I couldn't find my breath. My blood pressure spiked. Like, I had dealt with blood pressure for a little while, had anxiety during the pandemic, dealt with it for a little while, got off of everything because I was able to regulate again. um but my whole system from head to toe just went berserk. Like, guys, like some of the symptoms, I don't want to talk about. It was just like, undignified. So anyway, but human, nonetheless. So ended up in the emergency room with blood pressure like 173 over 139, like critical numbers. And long story short, a host of exams, got sent to a cardiologist, had so many more exams done, seen an endocrinologist, just a lot. Scary, because I really thought that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's happening, God? Like, God, save me, God, where are I? Like, God, please. I can laugh, but sometimes I still get a little traumatized, just like
Yeah.
revisiting like what I went through, not being able to care for my kids the way that I needed to. And it's just a lot. And there were some people in my life who showed up, and I'm so eternally grateful to them. And a few weeks later, like still dealing with this, then my grandma passed away, which is very difficult on the family as well. And like you said, Michelle, like you never expect it. You go to bed, you wake up, and those things are inevitable as far as death goes. I mean, but especially when you don't have a warning, like something is going to happen. If someone's like in bed and you're like, okay, they've been suffering and you can see the life living, then okay, well, you prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, still, still dreadful, but you
Yeah.
have a clue. Um, I mean, God blessed my grandma with many years. But again, like she didn't necessarily give the family a hint. I spoke to my cousin, Jason, the day before the Friday. I'm like, "How's mom doing?" Like that's part of my usual conversation, just get an update on everyone in the family when I call Saint Lucia. And it gave me a little update, but nothing that warranted any like fear or dread, looming over. So that call the next morning, like he called me and I hung up the phone. I'm like, nope, nope, nope.
Yeah.
And it took me a little bit of time to call him back, but so that was part of it, dealing with the inevitable goodbye service, and just like my aunts, and just worried about my mom, everybody else who would be impacted and what was coming. It carried a weight to it, and then myself not being able to go back home to be part of the service. And I know you, Michelle, you also dealt with that too, like the difficulty of having to be away and not be present to bring closure somewhat to, of sorts, because you can have closure in different ways. And I've been speaking a lot, so I'll finish with this. But I mean, the
No.
pandemic has really caused us, the pandemic has really caused a lot of us to say goodbye to loved ones in ways that, I mean, even before. So we, for other circumstances, but the past couple of years, just knowing of other people who weren't able to travel because of restrictions, and sometimes like not even being in the room when the loved ones pass away, like I could only, my mind went to all of those places and what the suffering that those types of goodbyes can really cause. That was very, very hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely hard for me too. I do wanted to go back to my father's funeral, and there are so many things that happen that keep on happening. Like I said, just like, okay, I wanted to go when I thought X, Y, and Z was going to happen. And, it's just like a lot of things that kept me from not going. And
Hmm.
it hurt not being there, but I felt a peace one day when I just sat there and I spoke to him. Like I was talking to him, I'm like, Dad, hey, XYZ, and I'm telling him and I'm pouring out to him, and I'm here crying. I'm like, I know XYZ, and I love you, and not because I'm not there doesn't mean that I don't love you. I love you, and you can see the reason why from where you are right now that things are not aligning with me going back home. Doesn't mean that I don't want to be there. Doesn't mean that I don't love you, but I want to. So that gave me a bit of peace. And one year we'll go and I will visit his graveside and I'll, show my respect in the way that I wanted to. But I couldn't at this moment.
Yeah. And it was, for me, it was difficult because, I had, there are people who were trying to be comforting, and because, I really felt, I viewed my grandmother's funeral on my phone because I did not want to have it on my TV, because, I did not want to really have my girls come in and really deal with the anguish that they weren't prepared to deal with, or me explain, because in that moment, I was just like, oh my gosh, I was consumed in watching my family grieve as well. Um, but there are people who, like, lovingly would just say, at least you saw her, because I am grateful I had an opportunity to travel to St. Lucia and and be with my grandmother, with my
Yeah.
daughters, and we have lots of pictures, and that was great. But there was something that was very painful in my heart, like not being able to be there to have my own closure, like outside of everybody else, but to bring it to a close. That really caused some grief and heaviness in my own heart, because even if you saw the person the day before and you were happy and they saw you, and it matters, it definitely matters. Not being there in the moment creates for me anyway, created a bit of anguish that I did not know that I'd have to deal with, because nothing could replace, you know, being
Yeah.
there and being around family. And of course, like, life happens and you have to move on. You deal with the hurt, but the hurt is also there.
Yeah.
It cannot
It
just
doesn't
be,
change anything.
you cannot just pretend it's not there. But
Yeah.
I mean, circumstances really play a part, and that's something else to also deal with. So yeah, yeah. But I am still comforted that my grandma, for instance, she lived a very honorable life. She took care of her daughters. My uncle passed away a long time ago too, but for the longest, it was her five daughters, and so she took care of us. She raised me for a good portion of my life when my mom left to come to the States, and oh, she was strict. Oh, my grandma. Listen, but I am still grateful. I think, too, in hindsight, that you get to a certain point where you can appreciate the discipline and the knowledge and the wisdom, and just the correction that you get I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, thank you, because I'm not wild, and I'm like, okay, it's sunset. I, my grandma's not around, but there's a curfew. It helps guide your
Definitely.
decisions based
Yeah.
on the way your upbringing. So, I'm grateful because some of those things, obviously, those are going to be some of the ways and measures as to how I deal with my girls, how I raise them. You trying to improve on what was given to you. You
Yeah.
add what you can to make it better, but you have that foundation as to listen. There was some merit to that.
Yeah. Yeah. There was
There's some merit to that. Yeah.
definitely. I mean, a lot of bad things happen, but a lot of great things happen. One of which license,
Oh, yeah.
health insurance.
Yeah. So I got my license to provide life insurance and then other things along that path to people. So that definitely, you have to find the right avenues to talk about it, obviously. But then, yeah, you guys know that's definitely something that God has allowed me to step into at this point, and I'm excited for sure, and I look forward to that new chapter as well. God is
Yeah,
good.
it is a beautiful chapter. It is definitely a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful chapter. It's a different chapter,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a beautiful chapter in
Yeah.
many ways. Oh God. But through it all, to be honest with you, Stacey,
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Of
I'm
course.
thankful. Because I'm still here alive. And when I think about, I know this is just everyone uses him, but it's so true right now in my life right now. Job went through a lot and he still stands. Like God delivered the people of Israel out of Egypt and they're still standing. So I was like, God, I'm gonna stand because you're
Exactly.
gonna deliver me through everything that I'm going through or went through. And I'm always saying to God, I'm sorry, give me a second. He's like, Mommy's doing something, okay? Here, you wanna have this? There you go. Goodbye. Um, you gotta go back in your room, honey.
Okay. Cute. So cute. Okay.
Um, my one prayer is that God uses this to bless someone, to encourage someone. Don't let me go through it just to go through whatever I'm going through in vain, but let it be a blessing. Because
Yeah.
I said to God yesterday, I said, God, like I took the test the first time, the health and life and health insurance, and I didn't pass it because it was like not because I didn't know the stuff. It's just because of a lot of stuff that was going on, and I tried, and then when I took it the second time, I did, I passed it, but it's just like the first time hit me hard
Yeah.
because I'm like going through. I wanted that wind, and I couldn't. Like I sent to Stacey, I couldn't shake it off. Like everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's okay, you can do it," and I'm like, "I know I can." But at that point, I wanted to win. I wanted to win. I wanted. I wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't win. So it's
But
like
the, hmm
I was so angry with God for a second. I'm like, okay, God, when am I gonna have a time to like smile and rejoice and be happy? And I remember the verse that says, "Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning."
Amen.
And I encourage myself with that. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just want to say to someone who is going through and getting hit after hit, look up, child. It's gonna get better. Look up. It's gonna get better. I know it sounds cliche, and I'm telling you that, and I'm encouraging myself. So it's not like, oh, I'm saying because I don't know what it is, and just talking. No, it's gonna get better. It takes steps sometimes, but sometimes it just shoot like a like you know how bamboo just grow. It takes a little while, and then when it starts growing, it grows so fast.
Amen.
So, however, whichever way it takes to grow and to get to where you need to get to or how you to get to it, you're gonna get to it. So I just want to encourage anyone that's going through right now. Look up. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better.
Holy Spirit
Stacy, you
does.
didn't know that you was gonna do the life and health insurance thing. But we were thinking about brainstorming about what we're gonna do and to be able to spend time with our children. Because
Yeah.
it's hard being apart from our children. Like with Elizabeth, I want her to go to school, but I don't want her to miss out on that bonding time with me. Because when she goes to school, that's it. Like there's
Yep.
no
Mhm.
coming back,
It
and
goes on.
that's it. So I'm like, I want to enjoy the last couple, whatever, how much I have with her being home. So that um health and life insurance thing, it definitely was opening ways on how I can be home with her and still provide and still help out with the
Mm,
family and do stuff that I want to do. So I'm grateful to God that Stacey helped me come up with that idea to
yeah,
do. So it's a blessing.
definitely.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at the time, but definitely we have a lot to be grateful for, Michelle, because the thing about trials, I think, and tests, when you can turn those tests into testimonies, and I know that's another
Yeah.
cliche too, but definitely where you can, when you can experience things but come through by God's grace and Him allowing us to learn and grow and become better people, and then being able to help others through the things that we've been through, it's not in vain. It's for us and it's for others as well.
Yeah.
So I thank God definitely for His mercies. But let's go ahead and end this.
Yeah, because my
Yes,
goal is
I know, and it's long winded by at this point. So we just want to thank all of you again for taking the time out to listen to us and to participate with us. We always welcome you to leave comments. We thank you. We're gonna try to we're gonna definitely try to get more content out to you guys. Excuse me. And thank you again for sharing this time. All right. So let's
yes, thank
any
you
last
guys.
word?
We have more videos coming, and
Yeah.
we try not to stay. No, try. We're not gonna stay with that long. We are gonna be more consistent in sharing, and we gonna upload on Instagram. Please follow us on Instagram. Please subscribe, share, comment.
And
We
like.
love we love love the feedback. Also, whatever you guys want to share with us. So
Yes.
thank you again. We love you. Mwah. Goodbye.
Bye everyone.